where you have to, right, you have three sets of intervals, right? Okay, so it's complicated.
What happens if you get one like that? That when you get down to x squared, you can't.
Yeah, that's fine, then you can't do anything with it. Okay, and that's very possible, right? Like, in advanced functions, you learn how to deal with anything, but in grade 11, right, there's only, like, if that was like x squared plus 9 or whatever, you couldn't do anything. Right, good?
Can you skip the third one and go straight to the fourth?
No, you're a genius. Fine, Matt, just for you, I'm gonna make a question on the test horribly difficult so that you can't do that. I know you guys will say, yeah, no one can factor me, I'm the factor king. Okay, you guys can all be the factor kings, yes.
When you have a reciprocal graph with 3 intervals, do you have to do it for the intervals in between each interval?
Yeah, so let's say we were to do this then. So you'd have, here's -3. Right, so that'd be a graph.
Yes.
So it looks something like this then, right? Right, and that's fine to do, right? So we'd have to figure out where it goes, but that's okay. Yeah.
We should cover everything. We should go with it all.
That's
I don't get most of it.
Oh,
Thank you.
we're trying. Okay, what do you guys want to do next?
Profit things. Yeah,
Profit
I
things?
heard that.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah. Just the whole thing of like all of the software.
Okay, we're gonna do one profit question.
I don't
wanna get
really
to
think anyone's prepared for this test. We should probably just push it back.
Can we push back one day?
Please.
Because I think Friday.
Yeah, Thursday, Thursday,
Could we push
Thursday.
it to Friday?
let's just.
Friday.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna pause here for a second, so I don't have to yell at you guys.
I at least have one.
Okay.
Lunch date.
Okay, profit again is going to be in general, it's going to be, the question will say, Mr. Sadler sells pens for $2 and sells 1,000 of them. For each 5-cent drop, he sells more pens. If the pens cost 35 cents, yeah, at what price maximizes? Yeah, the pens do cost $2. Like they'll sell me, like it gives, yeah. I get them for 35 cents in bulk, and I sell them to each of you for $2. Okay, this is a little bit unrealistic. It's 1,000 pens. That's quite valuable. It's quite a lot. Okay, but go with me here. And we're at like the math, what's called the math bingo championship world or something right now. Okay, so we can go through this now. These ones, once you understand this, you should be able to do this because there's no trick. Like you just put the numbers in the equation and do it. But you gotta have confidence in yourselves for this, okay? So let's get anything. What's my unknown going to be here? What's my x going to be in this case? So I'll give you a straw. I'll give you a second. Give everybody straw. I'll give everyone a second. Okay, for this question, you have two options. X is either your number of drops or your number of rises. That's all it can be. Okay, nothing else. Okay, so profit is going to equal revenue minus cost. So P is going to be price times sales minus 0.35 times sales. This is like this every single time. It doesn't change. Not like there's no thinking involved in this question. There's always going to be X is going to be your drops, your raises, and then your equation is going to be just what I've written on the board. P equals price times sales minus and then whatever the cost. Where did I get the 35.35 from?
Cost per pen.
Right, so this is gonna be the 35, and it's always gonna be worded the same way. I'm not here to trick you on this. Okay, so it always lines up there the same way. If you're in my 3M class, we did the same thing with this last year, the exact same thing, right? We the book with the werewolves and the vampires and all that stuff. Yeah, go ahead.
How do I know that it's $2?
Sorry? Okay, because if, I'll try and be careful and word of sales and cost. If I'm selling it for $2, so if you're like, the cost to me is 35 cents, right? That would be, and I'll be careful to word it like that. And I think on this island, the same thing with the smart cars. It should be fairly obvious for how it's worded. Like, I'm not going to trick you on words. I'm not intending to do that. I'm not that huge, I don't think. Okay, can somebody be brave and give an expression for price? Think of what the starting price is and how much it's changing by. What's my starting price? $2. How much does it change each time?
10x, 0.10x.
Oh, 5, not 10, but
Oh.
yes. So it's going to be, my price starts at 2, and because it's dropping, minus 0.05x. Okay. Now, I'm just going to make sure everyone soaks that in before I keep going. Okay, so 2 we got from, that was your starting value was 2. It says for every 5-cent drop. Okay, so I'll do this maybe and underline this in green. Right, so there's your $2 and then your 5-cent drop. So there's your $2 and your 5-cent drop. Sort of okay so far? Let's do the same thing for sales. How many? What's the starting sale and how it's going to change by each time? Someone go ahead. 1,000 plus 10. That's good. Okay. So it's going to be 1,000. Where that comes from is you're starting with 1,000, and it's going to go 10 more pens. Is the word. Naturals, these are double underlined. Now, please be brave and ask. Yeah, go ahead.
Does that do like 35 cents times sale?
35 cents times sales. Because it's 35, because no matter how many pens I sell, Alana, it's going to cost me 35 cents, like to myself, right? Okay. So I have an expression for sales now. It's the same as over here. So it's minus 0.35 times 1,000 plus 10. And all of these questions are the very same as this. Like, there's no variety. There should be out of the 2 sections, there should be the easier of 2 word problems, I think, once you do them. Okay, just sub it in the formula and go. If it's not, that's okay. Okay, but you know, you know, when I was like at home for a week, I didn't stutter once. Like, I didn't get excited and say, hey, guess what, honey, I made lasagna. I made lasagna for supper tonight. Nothing. But as soon as I get here, anyway. Okay, but the idea is here, just sub the numbers in here and go from there. Are we feeling somewhat okay where this is coming from? Okay, one nod, thank you, Adam, okay? No one else? All right, one person. You know what you guys all look like right now? Anyway, that's okay. It's not okay, it's awful. Okay, how do I continue this question now? What do I do? What do I do? Oh, I go.
And distribute, right?
Okay, so we're just going to FOIL out everything. Then we're going to use x equals negative b over 2a. If you remember last year when we did this, or last semester, what I did was you have to complete the square. We don't need to complete the square now with our new method, our new fast method, which was nice. You must have been sick that day. Okay. So let's FOIL this out because somebody have a calculator to help me. I think that's 2,000 plus 20x. Minus 50x, right? Minus 0.5x squared. So confirm those for me. Are we good? Good? Yes? Minus 350 minus 3.5x. Are we good? So we confirm those for me? Yes? Okay, I'm going to neaten it up then together. So it's going to turn into negative 0.5 x squared plus 20x minus 50x minus 3.5x plus 2,000 minus 350, which is negative 0.05 x squared, negative 33.5x plus 650. Someone can please confirm all that for me. We're good? All right, yes? I'm just adding in my head, so I'm doing that. Okay. So we followed out, there's my expression. How do I find now the maximum, here, what do I need to do for maximum? Yes. Yeah, right, maximum means vertex, this gives you the vertex, right? As soon as you see the word maximum in the question, that tells you instantly that you're going to be finding the vertex. So to get the x corner of the vertex, x is going to be negative b over 2a. Where that comes from, we showed last week, but think of that like the left-hand part of the quadratic formula, like negative b plus or minus 0. Can somebody tell me what the next step is after that? Sub it in. So b is what? 33.5? All over 2 times negative 0.5, which conveniently is negative 33.5. Now someone will say, I'm going to call her Jennifer, we'll write in her test, therefore the price of pen should be negative $33.5, correct? No. What do I do with that? What do I do with x equals negative 33.5? What do I do with it? Sub in the price, okay? So my price was 2 minus 0.05 x. X is a negative though. I'm going to need some help with this one. Divided by 21.6. I can't do that. So 1 second. So that's $3 and that should equal so $3.67. Run up to 368, that's fine. Okay. Now the idea for this again, right, is that when you're selling things, the more that it's like supply and demand, right? So the more that you have and you can raise the price, again, you can maximize your profit. That's what we're looking to do. So again, think of anything. Remember I told you guys about not the Beanie Baby, that's another example though, right? Or the Cabbage Patch Kids, all that stuff, right? Or trying to buy yourself a pop at a hockey game, right? They sell pops for 50 cents, no chance, right? And for popcorn, how much it costs to make popcorn? About 10 cents. Big bag like this.
It costs
Bring your own popcorn.
per ounce of popcorn from the butters and it's delayed in the oven.
Oh, I know.
It's crazy.
Okay, I'm gonna do the other type of word problem right now. Hopefully that was helpful to you. I'm here tonight after school. If I didn't say that yet, I'm here tonight after school as well. Okay. Yes.
Even though you said that X was the number of price drops,
Yes.
whether or not X is negative or not doesn't affect how you describe it.
Right.
It
Because
affects-
right, like a negative price drop would be like a raise of the price. Right? Okay. All the negative part, all that's going to do is test out the equation. Because we're talking about drops and rate, right? You know, I'm trying drops and rises. Is what I'm trying to say. It's like a drop to negative this and a rise to plus this.
So you could say price changes.
Well, you don't really want to say changes though, because you've got to pick whether it's going to be drops or rises, because that'll affect. You don't want to get confused on your equation here, right? You can say changes if you want to, but as long as one's a plus and one's a minus, that's what you need in your thing. Yeah. Which one? This part here? We're good up to here. Okay. So all I did is here. This isn't. We're looking for the x corner of the vertex. That's all we need, because it says maximum. So you can either complete the square. The other way to do it is just use the simple formula negative b over 2a, and that's another way to do the x corner of the vertex. Okay, so what I did was, and think of it like quadratic formula, right? A, b, and c. Okay, so I just subbed it in. So x is negative 33.5. Then what you're going to do is you're just going to sub that in then to your price, and that'll give you your price. If you want to do completing the square, you may. Just this is a lot faster. Yeah.
If the X comes out positive, we know the price will be lower.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's how we can gauge whether we're right or
Exactly.
not.
Yeah. Yeah.
So back to the thing earlier,
Yeah.
if it says drops, just use the word drops.
Yeah, it's probably easier just so you don't get mixed up. Like the way I think they have to go in opposite directions, because like the whole theory is, like if I were to rise the price and I were to sell more, why would I ever stop raising the price? Right? It's like a phone, right? We should use that on the phone. Okay, I'll do one of those speed questions. Okay, what type of speed question do you want me to do? Just anyone is fine?
I like the one where you have to take your wife to the hospital.
What
I
time
like
will
how
be on
underneath
the
you said we don't.
I'm pretty sure that the speed limit on sound is like, yeah, 56.
Summer first, then.
You're driving extra slow.
Oh, yes. That's a good one. Okay.
So excited.
In a motorcycle, this is number 3 on the review sheet. I'll write it up here. I'll write down the important points.
Can I just do it on my review?
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me.
It says here, in a motorcycle race, 1 lap is 650. At the start of the race, Zach starts 4 seconds after Dakota. Zach drives 5 meters per second faster. And Zach finishes 2.5 seconds sooner. A says find the speed of each. Okay, that's me summarizing the important information. Anything, it wouldn't hurt for you guys either when you try this yourself on the test to maybe sort of summarize the things that are important. Because there's always a lot of fluff in word problems with lots of words. And I'm a math guy, okay, so for me the numbers and the words directly connected to them are important. The stuff that is. Okay, so from that here, it says find the speed of each person. All right, so what you have to do in this case is pick one person. Who are we going to, our 2 people are Zach and Dakota. Whose speed do we want to be X, Zach's or Dakota's? It does not matter who. Zach sounds good for me. So we're going to let X equals Zach's speed. Okay, what's Dakota's speed then? Great. X minus 5. Okay, now if you want to do it the other way, the Dakota would be X, and Zach would be X plus 5, since he's 5 kilometers faster. Okay, so either way works. Or 5 meters per second faster. Are we okay on where that came from? Okay, because that's got to be the starting point. I started that just because I said find the speed of each, that's my X. Other thing I'm going to write down here is that my distance is going to be 650 for both. Now the trickier part here is going to be the time. I'm going to draw a diagram here, if you don't mind. And I was helping someone with this before, I don't know if this actually works or not. So it says Zach starts 4 seconds after Dakota. This is similar to mine and Tristan's foot race. Okay, very similar question to that one, okay? So here's Dakota. Taking a sweet time to finish the race. Okay, so if Zach gives a 4-second head lead, and then he also finishes 2.5 seconds earlier, how can I make an equation out of that to really make them equal to each other? Are we okay on with the diagram, what that's saying though, right? Like there's Dakota's whole race. For Zach, there's 4 seconds at the beginning, and then there's also...
No, after.
Sorry, 4 seconds before. So since he starts 4 seconds after, what it means is, all right, if you and I are having a race, I'll be Dakota since I'm slower, okay? So I do 4 seconds, and then you start after. Okay, so you're giving me a 4-second lead, so you only begin right after, okay? And then the same thing, you're going to finish 2.5 seconds sooner. So instead of going all the way, like Dakota takes this long, Zach's going to be less. How can I set an equation for their times?
Yeah, not be Dakota's time and minus 6.
Okay, equals Zach's. You can do that if you want to. I'm going to do it, that will work. I'm going to erase this because that will work, okay, but I'd do it something different. If I was looking at that, I'd probably write it like this. Dakota, Zach plus 6.5. They still mean the same thing. And we'll still get the same question. But looking at this, like there's Zach, there's a 6.5 equals Dakota, just, they both of them were. Now, are we okay on where he got that from? Good one. That's a no? Okay, we'll just think if we're thinking of time. This is Zach's time, that's Dakota's time. If you want them to be the same, there's 4 here and there's 2.5 there, so there's 6.5. So take whatever Zach has, yeah. And that's sort of the Zach, and that's what we're saying on the bottom here. Right, Zach plus 6.5 is Dakota. Okay. If I get someone to be brave and give me an expression for Dakota's time, what does time equal? Yeah? So all this V equals D over T, T equals D over V. That's true though, that's true, there's no velocity, good. Okay, so now, can somebody give me an expression please for Dakota's time? Go ahead.
6 over x plus 5.
Okay, so what happens here? They both traveled 650. Their time was whatever x minus 5. Can someone else, someone give me an expression for Zach's time, please? Somebody wrote it, sorry.
650 over x.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to hit pause in the video. I want you to solve that equation. Actually, I should probably put a domain in here. What's a suitable domain for x here? X greater than 0. Okay. Actually, probably x greater than 5. I should probably say. 0 would normally work, but think if let's say, think Olivia, 5 like 2 here.
Yeah.
2 minus 5 would be too slow. Okay, so we'll say 5. All right. So what you're going to do is you're going to solve that and hit pause. If you're saying to yourself, I can't solve it, you can do it. Okay.
I'm really impressed.
What's that?
I'm really impressed.
Sorry, I've had a week of